Okay, dear guest, welcome to Ukraine Pavilion. Welcome to Covenant of Mayors Initiative to Ukraine. My name is Oksana Kisil. I am country expert of Covenant of Mayors Initiative, and we have fantastic result in Ukraine related to Covenant of Mayors. We have in our family more than 200 municipalities which have deals with climate change action plan. And we have national level, 2 ministries, and territorial level, and of course NGOs, Covenant supporters. But the main result of Ukrainian municipalities that thanks to their activities, we save gas more than 13 days of total gas consumption on country level. It's every job for our mayors, it's every job for our citizens to save and to be more efficiency now, not in the future. Next slide, please. And just short comments, what means Covenant of Mayors in Ukraine. We have deals with 3 pillars: mitigation, adaptation, and first, before war, we have energy poverty in the focus. But right now, Ukrainian and our municipalities are moving more to energy security and affordable energy. All municipalities in Ukraine develop sustainable energy and climate action plan, but just now we try focus on energy security. Next slide. It's Ukraine now. We have dark cities, destroyed critical infrastructure, deaths, destroyed residential sectors. But today, we as a Covenant of Mayors family in Ukraine would like to speak about new Ukraine after our winner. We would like to speak about more greener, more energy efficiency, and more climate resilience. Municipalities, cities, communities. That's why cities and deputy mayors which are present here will be in the focus on our discussion. And I propose that it will be not as a presentation. If you have any question, please raise hands. We have 2 hours and we open to answer for any your question or to discuss any. And what else I would like to say that, next slide, please. It's agenda for next 2 hours, but we prefer discuss more not about modernization, post-war modernization. We would like to discuss post-war development of Ukraine. And again, in the corner, more greener, more energy efficient, and more climate resilience. Because thanks to your support, you and other countries, thanks to citizen support, just now we think about how it will be Ukraine recovering. But our motto is greener, more energy efficiency, and more climate resilience. We have follow speakers today: Maria Malaya, State Agency on Energy Efficiency and Energy Saving, online. And right now you could see our main speakers. It's Mykola Lavrashuk, Deputy Mayor of Khmelnytsky, Irina Guts, Novograd-Volynskiy, Igor Krychkevich, Rivne, Oleg Zabara, Lviv. We have big and small cities. And if you have any question, please, Deputy Mayors works with you today and for Ukrainian people and for our friendship. We have Svetlana Krakovska, it's famous scientist in Ukraine, which will be provide some comments or recommendation for Ukrainian cities, how to be more greener and climate resilience. And of course, we have such friend in Ukraine as the UNDP team. Anna Zhevchenko is here. And right now, I think we need to start dialogue, maybe some discussion with our municipalities, which are in the corner of our panelization. And first, I would like to invite all representatives from municipalities: Mykola, Irina, Igor, and Oleg. We have a new generation of deputy mayors. They speak very well English, better as me, I hope. But we will have your support if something couldn't translate. And next slide, Mykola is now floor is yours. Yes,
Hello, Mykola Vavrishchuk, Deputy Mayor of Khmelnytsky. I'm very thankful to be here, and this is very important for me, for Khmelnytsky people and Ukraine. And this is very important to talk about future of our cities, especially future after the war that we will definitely win. Next slide, please. So today is the 266th day of war, and actually the war has divided our life before and after. And this war had brought many problems for our cities also. And Khmelnytsky is not the city near the war line. It's pretty far away from the war line, but still we have a lot of problems because of war as the whole Ukraine. Next slide, please. So now we have about 28,000 of refugees, people who came over from different parts of Ukraine. And actually we had over 200,000 people from starting from 24th of February. So they all moved through Khmelnytsky for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or maybe a couple months. But right now, still 28,000 people from different parts of Ukraine still live in Khmelnytsky. And our priorities have changed. So actually, I would say that, sorry about that, but I would say that instead of caring about environment, we are caring about people's life now. It's too bad. It's too bad because of environment, but that's how it is in Ukraine. And the city has lost already like 8 months of development as the whole Ukraine, I think. Instead of doing the big, nice green projects, now we're doing what we're doing now. Next slide, please. So about we lost 8 months. We have a lot of nice green ecological projects in the city, like EcoBus, that's the bus that collects household hazardous waste. It is working for 3 years, but we have, you see, 62% down, and the same as educational waste management center. There's only one center in Ukraine, and it was open a year ago, and we have less visitors. We have 75% less visitors. So the war, as I said, brought a lot of problems, and that's why people are thinking not about ecology. That's I said also. And our cool, nice, and green projects now not on stop, but they are still not growing up, and we are not getting more visitors. We're not getting more people involved. Next slide, please. But still, if we are talking about public waste sorting center, it almost did not change. Unlike other projects, they still continue working. That's our new center. It was opened 2 years ago. People still bring waste there. And even on the first day of war, 10 visitors came over to this center. So still, it's not still that bad. Next slide, please. Interesting fact about, if you can see here, that's the waste. That's about waste generation. It has been dropped. You can see it almost, the number is almost 2019. It was growing up, but now it is down. Probably it's good, but it was growing every year. Now it's down. It's also because of war. Next slide, please. Nevertheless, we continue to move forward. Here you can see 3 projects that we are moving on today in Khmelnytsky. First one is the solid waste project. We work with EBRD, and we signed the agreement with the BRD, and we are getting a loan from EBRD and a grant from European Union. And to this year, the year of war, we already announced a tender for the MBT plant in September. So we'll see how will be going, because we have problems with companies that cannot come over to Ukraine and see the site, see all the things that they want to see in Khmelnytsky. But still the tender is going on, and that's a good thing, because this year we started a big tender. Not a lot of cities in Ukraine started thinking about waste management plants. We are gonna build MBT plant. Hopefully it's gonna be soon, but we'll see how it goes. As usual, 9 months or 12 months takes for a tender. Then we are taking part in energy security project with USAID. So basically, we are working on development scheme for our heating system. And the third project is a trolley bus project. We started this project this year also, and we're gonna sign agreement with EBRD hopefully early next year. So that's another green project for Khmelnytsky. We're gonna buy new trolley buses, and we're gonna get some grant money for that. And this is also our big green project. So these 3 projects still are going, and this is very good, because they've been stopped for like 3 or 4 months because of the war, and then we still continue to, we are still doing that. Please, next slide. And now, actually, I think that this is a great time for Ukrainian cities to make great plans, to make great big green plans for our cities, because as I said, we will win the war definitely, and the peace will come over to Ukraine. But a lot of cities now have to think about big green plans. That's why we're working with EBRD also. We have signed agreement, and we are in Green Cities project, EBRD's project, and now we are making Green Cities action plan for Khmelnytsky, and we'll be presenting this action plan probably in next 2 months. We've been doing that for about a year, and you can see the challenges for Khmelnytsky that we put here. And this is going to be a big plan for Khmelnytsky for next 10 years, how to make Khmelnytsky more green, and how to make it better. That's it. Thanks for your attention.
Okay, thanks a lot, Khmelnytsky, for this presentation. And my question, and I think participants' question will be later. And now I would like to invite Maria Malaya, Deputy Head of State Agency on Energy Efficiency, Energy Saving, and I think Maria could provide some recommendation for municipalities how to be more greener and sustainable in the future. And maybe, dear Maria, provide some, how to say, more challenges for cities, for communities, and how the government will be support just now our local authorities. Maria? No? Okay, let's move to the municipalities again, and waiting for connection, because in Kiev just now I received many messages, no electricity after yesterday rocket attacks. Okay, the next city will be Novograd-Volynsk. It's smaller than Khmelnytsky, but I think more ambitious. But like right now we check. Irina, the floor is yours. You are our gender balance here.
Thank you, Oksana. Thank you, all people. My name is Irina. I'm from Novograd-Volynski. Today, my city doesn't light and electricity, and I hear and this section for me very important. But Oksana helped me with translate.
Not me, NGO. We have a civil society usually with us. Anna will support you. She promised.
Я хочу подякувати всій міжнародній спільноті за те, що сьогодні допомагають у розвитку нашої громади, оскільки це дуже важливо для нас.
I would like to thank all the international community who are helping to develop our community, and that thank you for helping us.
Ми сьогодні відчуваємо величезну підтримку від Європейського Союзу, від наших міст-побратимів і від всіх тих, до кого ми звертаємося. Надзвичайна подяка.
Today we feel an enormous support from the European Union and from brother cities, brother towns around the EU, and from everyone whom we are asking for support.
Я хочу сказати, що ми маємо дуже цікаву історію у співпраці з міжнародними інституціями саме в напрямку енергоефективності і змін клімату.
I would like to say that we have a very interesting cooperation already and experience in energy efficiency and in climate action with international partners.
І нашою основною філософією є всі важливі речі робити через наших дітей і таким чином формувати наше майбутнє.
Our main philosophy is doing everything through the prism of our children, and in that way to form our future.
Ми разом з нашими німецькими колегами створили в нашій громаді еколого-натуралістичний центр, де якраз можемо презентувати всі інноваційні технології, які є у сфері енергоефективності.
Together with the German partners, we created in our community a naturalization center or naturality center where we show different aspects and different energy efficiency technologies that there are.
Будь ласка, наступний слайд. Це наша чудова річка Случ, це наша основна водна артерія. І сьогодні ми також робимо важливий наголос для того, аби зберегти і відновити нашу річку.
This is the main river of our community, River Sluch, and our main artery. And we are doing everything to restore the river and to work on rehabilitation of this river.
Наступний слайд, будь ласка. В нашому місті немає університетів, але незважаючи на те, в минулому році ми стали містом, в якому проводився перший інноваційний муніципальний хакатон за участю кращих вузів України.
There is no university in our city. Nevertheless, last year we had the first municipal hackathon that took place in our city, where universities were competing between themselves.
І таким чином ми хочемо поєднати науку з якраз проблемами муніципалітету, аби на більш науковому рівні формувати майбутнє нашої громади.
And in this way, we would like to connect science with that the municipality has in order to be working together with scientific knowledge.
В цьому році ми маємо ідею залучити міжнародні університети, які стають нашими партнерами якраз в питаннях змін клімату і в питаннях ощадливого використання водних ресурсів.
And now we would like to invite international universities to work with us on energy saving technologies and developing energy saving practices in the community.
Next slide, please. Наступний, будь ласка. На цьому слайді ви можете побачити, ми хотіли показати вам нашу промисловість, яка рухається якраз в ногу з часом. А в Новограді-Волинському є одні з найпотужніших підприємств не лише в Європі, а й в світі по органічному виробництву і органічній переробці.
On this picture, with this picture, I would like to show you how our industry is also moving ahead with time, and we have in our community one of the largest organic farm enterprises that exist in the country.
Також наші бізнеси мають величезні міжнародні співпраці в напрямку легкої промисловості, і зараз ми працюємо з нашими міжнародними інституціями над створенням таких промислових кластерів.
There is also different light industries developed in the city, and now we are working with our international partners to create different industrial clusters together with them.
Наступний слайд, будь ласка. Також хочу подякувати за співпрацю з громадськими організаціями. Хочу подякувати угоді мерів «Схід», яка допомагає нам, програмі UNDP, програмі українсько-німецького міжнародного співробітництва GIZ, які є надзвичайно важливими для того, аби ми могли рухатися в напрямку сталого розвитку громади.
And I would like to thank NGOs, the Covenant of Mayors, UNDP, GIZ, all the different partners who are helping us to be moving ahead towards sustainable development.
І також сьогодні ми маємо, в нас хоч і невеличка громада, але ми маємо проект Європейського Союзу, який покликаний з однієї сторони допомогти внутрішньо переміщеним особам, але з іншої сторони допомогти нашому бізнесу для того, аби люди, які є внутрішньо переміщені, змогли працювати для розвитку нашої економіки і для зміцнення нашої промисловості.
And although our community is quite small, we have a project now funded by the European Union to help the internationally displaced persons and local businesses developed by the internally displaced persons locally. So to develop these businesses and to be still moving ahead with development of the local economy.
Ну і останній слайд, і мій останній, я дуже вдячна ще раз всім за вашу шалену підтримку. Україна відчуває її від кожного з вас, і хочу сказати, що для мене сьогодні теж дуже приємний день, оскільки сьогодні моє місто вже отримало офіційно нову назву. Ми маємо назву від Новограда-Волинського, сьогодні ми отримали назву Звягель. І я сподіваюся, що про Звягель ми з вами ще в майбутньому скажемо багато хороших речей.
I would like to thank once more for the enormous support that we feel that our city is feeling. And today is a special day because our city received a new name, which is Zvagel. So I hope that we will hear in the future a lot about Zvagel from the perspective of sustainable development and of the issues that we're discussing today.
Thank you very much.
Diana, thanks for your support. NGO, it's really important stakeholders for any initiatives, but I propose not to talk in the future about cities value, but visit this city. It will be better for any international partner. And Irina, I hope your dream to organize big conference on water management into your city will be as a reality again after our victory. And we will move to the city Rivne. And we have, next slide. Yes. We have shots one slide, but I think real good presentation from Igor, it's deputy mayor of city, and the floor is yours. What do you think about your city? How you move and how are you, Irina?
Thank you very much. Good morning for all. One more time. I am very pleased to be here as a part of our Ukrainian team. Thank you for this possibility. It's a big honor to be here at firstly our panel on the COP. Oksana made big challenge when told about we know English very well, but I try to start and finish in English. But if I need support, I hope you help me. You will help me. Okay. I try to show you result of our. Yeah, thank you. It's a result of Covenant of Mayor 2020 of our city, which we finished and have had great results. For example, in the reduction of energy consumption, you can see it's 101%. We achieved 101% in this direction. And CO2 reduction to 2020, it's 107% generally. Thank you. Okay. We have still a big problem with renewable energy production. It's our luck, really. We don't have enough facilities for this, but we again signed Covenant of Mayor 2030 and starting to develop this action plan for 10 years to achieve new results, great results, and I hope we will do this. And you can see the last one column, it's our investment in euros. I try to explain how we have such a reduction of CO2. It's connected with gas, with big enterprises in our city. And I think for our city, its biggest possibility to decrease CO2. It's hello, yeah, okay. It's our factory and our economy because we have very old infrastructure, very old. I hear another one. Sorry.
You are here the main. Think about it. The voice is not so important.
So for future, we see this possibility, of course, for more decrease in CO2 and reduction of energy consumption. Next slide, please. Thank you.
You have only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a second one about our investigation temperature increasing. Sorry, during last years. We have started this investigation a few years ago. We measure temperature on upper surface.
And now?
Sorry. We measuring the temperature on our surface in the city during last 10 years. And on the slide showed that this temperature increased on sometimes for 3-4 temperature degree, 3-4 degree in the center of the city where there are many cars and where there are many asphalt. Yeah, asphalt. Yes, there is no trees. It's a problem, really big problem, close to the wall of the buildings, and the temperature is really very high, 4 degrees. And from the other part of the city, we have the river in the city, and close to the river, the temperature is normal, when the grain and so on, the grains rising, so it's good. But now we developing our action plan. We have finished European energy efficiency agreement, so we start to work in this direction, and one of the main direction for us to reduce, not change maybe gas, but we have big losses in our infrastructure system. Really, it's for example, for heating system, it's about 30%. Yearly, it's about 100 million cubic meters gas. So if we can change this and use for future less amount of power from renewable energy, it would be great.
Сегодняшний день.
I think if you will have some questions, I will answer you. No problem. Thanks.
Okay, I would like to stay to focus 1 minute on this slide and on this figure. If you see, the city of Rivne has submitted SICAP Sustainable Energy Action Plan in 2013, and only less than 1% green energy in energy balance. The other is gas. It's typical situation for Ukrainian municipalities. If we speak about big, not typical, but many municipalities have the same balance. So less share of green energy in the balance. And I think it's a crucial problem for, not problem, crucial challenges for us, how to change situation. Of course, it's good result with energy efficiency. Municipality implemented SIAP and has good result, 100%, more than 100% implemented. But with green energy, it's our main challenges, but we discuss later. And just now, I propose to move to the city Lviv. Lviv maybe is the most famous city in Ukraine. And I think, who have never been in Lviv? Welcome to Lviv next year, after our winner, as usual. And we have separate presentation about Lviv, because Lviv, it's not only how to say culture capital city of Ukraine, I think so, but Lviv has real fantastic result in urban planning, in transportation, and other sectors. Yeah. We have question and answer, but okay. We have more than 1 hour for question and answer for all municipalities.
It's just a comment, actually. I want to say that I'm here with Nigel Jollens. He's my colleague from the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, EBRD, which is the biggest investor in Ukraine, and very pleased to be here at this event. We co-lead EBRD Green Cities, and we have projects and a program going in 7 Ukrainian cities, one of which is Lviv. So just very pleased to be here, and I'm sure that we'll have more questions.
Hey, Linda, we have the best the best cities here in Pavilion, but we have many cities online, and of course we discussed during panelization. And now Lviv.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you to be here and to talk with you. So sorry for my English, because last year I didn't have the opportunity to go abroad and to have communication in English. That's why if it will be hard for me, I will try to say something in Ukrainian, and translators will help me. Thank you. So first of all, as I see, most of you were in Lviv, in our city. We have approximately 1 million inhabitants, and we are in deep. We are not in the war line, but we are a city which is mostly helping refugees and supports the front line. So, and even during our travel here in Egypt, we had a few Russian missile attacks on our city, and that attack left my city for a few hours without electricity, without heating, without water, and without public transport, electric public transport. But we are struggling against it. So we very fast we restored water supply, because we have different kind of generators for in that which will help us in that way. We restored the public transport because when we have absence of energy, we have another plans which our buses support and make it good in our city. So, okay, let's start about our plan of action, SECAP. So next slide, please. First of all, we had SEAP approved many years ago, and this year we passed the evaluation, and we had 20.3 reduction of CO2 emissions. And this year, during the war, we approved new SECAP, Sustainable Energy Action Plan and Climate. So it was in July this year. So, and other goal is to 37.5% of reduction till 2030. Next slide, please. Also we had in September this year, we had the evaluation and audit in European Energy Award, and we get more than 60%, and we are getting European Energy Award with such a high, I think, result. So sorry that my presentation is in Ukrainian, but I will be reading and translating like key things from the presentation. Okay, so I think everyone knows the main goals of Covenant of Mayors. So next slide, please. So as I said, our new goal is more than 35%. It's 37.5%. We are hoping to 2030 to get that result, and till 2050 we will. We are planning to get climate neutral goal. So next slide, please. Next slide, because I won't stop on that. So it's like main things. Next slide, please. So if we are talking about the goals of our SECAP, so that's the reduction of CO2. That's the reduction of heating loss. Thank you. So that the reduction, increasing of energy knowledges of our citizens. That's involving investments in that sphere, adaptation to changing of climates and other goals. So next, please. And next, please. So that's the main our actions in our city, which will help us to reach our goals. So first of all, we have a goal of thermal modernization of our buildings inside our city, because we need to be sustainable. In that case, we need to be sorry, I forgot that word. So we need to be sustainable, and we need to be autonomous, because now we have such challenges that made us be like that. So that's why during from 2015 till that year, we have in thermal modernization, we have 280 buildings thermal modernized in our city, because using the program of 70.30, we are financing the credits from the budget. We are even this year 38 buildings was we have modernized them and they are now more energy efficient. The next case is individual heating points. So we have project energy efficient district Sikhiv, and according to that project, we have 409 individual heating points installed in our city in the residential area, and we will be making it more and more. So public transport, the next our topic. So from the beginning of war, more than 6 million people came to our city, and they are coming searching for work, searching for peace, and searching for normal life in our city. Using our public transport, using our buses, we get to border more than 170,000 people to Poland mostly, and in communication with our international partners, we get 40 new buses in our, and that buses was used to get those refugees to border and to helping our military. But in case of public transport, we see that from the beginning of war, we had deficit of fuel. That's why we understood that it's really important to have efficient electro public transport trams and trolley buses. Maybe I will try in Ukrainian because a little bit hard, tell you the truth. Отже, з початку війни в нас був серйозний дефіцит пального. Але і, власне, цей дефіцит пального нам показав, наскільки важливим є електротранспорт в нашій міській транспортній мережі.
Since the beginning of the war, we realized what actually dependency on fossil fuel is during the times when there was a shortage of oil, for example, and our electric transport program paid out very well.
Але насправді зараз ми бачимо, що через брак електроенергії, власне, став вразливим і наш електротранспорт.
But at the same time now, during power outages that became very frequent, we can see that that has an impact also on our electric transport.
Тому ми стараємося робити наш транспорт взаємозамінюваним і, власне, робити це таким чином, щоб він був сталим і в різних умовах забезпечував своє функціонування в місті.
So we are trying to make our transport in a way interchangeable so that it would still keep functioning no matter what are the conditions.
Отже, з початку року ми змогли відкрити додатковий тролейбусний маршрут.
Since the beginning of the year, we were able to open the new trolleybus route in our city.
І ми, власне, оновлюємо наші контактні мережі.
And we are modernizing our power networks for the transport.
Але для того, щоб забезпечити стабільне функціонування громадського транспорту в цих поточних умовах,
but in order to make sure that our public transport can still function in the current conditions,
ми зараз активно хочемо модернізувати наші тролейбуси таким чином, щоб вони мали автономний хід.
We would like to modernize our trolley buses so that they would have a possibility to also be running autonomously for some time.
Власне, перший такий тролейбус ми вже модернізували, і зараз в рамках взаємодії з міжнародними фінансовими організаціями ми хочемо, власне, закупити ще додаткових 100 тролейбусів з автономним ходом.
We've already modernized one trolleybus in this way, and now we would like to cooperate with our international partners to purchase 100 more buses of this sort.
Я коротенько перейду до наступних заходів. Отже, сонячна електростанція, також ми розуміємо, що наскільки важливо зараз бути автономним і наскільки зараз важливі відновлювальні джерела енергії.
Now shortly about other measures that we are undertaking, solar energy. We understand now how important it is to keep the autonomy.
Ми зараз змонтували на одному з наших комунальних підприємств, власне, сонячні панелі, і також плануємо на закладах освіти встановлювати додатково сонячні панелі.
We've already installed one solar power roof, PV roof on one of the administrative buildings, and we are planning to install more on our educational institutions, education buildings.
Like 1 minute, and after this panelization, we are ready to work with Lviv during the night.
Я тоді вже буду потрошки завершувати. Також ми активно цього року рухаємося по проекту сміттєпереробного заводу і рекультивації нашого полігону.
And this year we are moving ahead with the plant on waste. What was it?
На сьогодні на 90
waste переробки. Waste management plant.
На сьогодні в нас єдиний такий великий проект в Україні по рекультивації сміттєпереробного полігону відходів. Це є, власне, наш. На 90% він вже є готовий, і зараз ми вже потрохи переходимо до, власне, біологічної стадії рекультивації.
This is the only plant of its kind in Ukraine that exists already. It's already 90% ready. And we are now proceeding to the stage on, what is it?
Це є великий полігон на 38 власне гектарів.
Biological rehabilitation, which is last stage.
Okay, Oleg, I propose to stop, and we live with you during this night if you want. We are working for Ukraine and for Ukrainian people together with you. And
Thank you.
Lviv presents today a fantastic ambitious plan how to be more greener, more energy efficiency, and more climate resilience. But I think if we speak about electricity transport and how just now it's vulnerabilities is transport, I would like to draw your attention to ambitious plans for the bike infrastructure. More than 200,000 new bike road in the city. I think it's real ambitions, and we will be more greener. But
so now we have 150 kilometers of
bicycle
lines,
road.
and we have our goal is to connect every bike line in our city to one network.
Okay, Yiberdi will be without job thanks to bicycle strategy in Lviv, only bike road. Okay, now I propose to move to Maria Malaya, a deputy head of state and agency on energy saving. Maria, hello from Sharm el Sheikh. Microphone, please.
Okay, thank you. Hello to everyone. Nice to see you and hear you. And first of all, good afternoon. And I would like to thank for the possibility to participate in such an important event. Especially thanks for UNDP and Covenant of Mayors East. And you know, today Ukrainians are trying to overcome and survive maybe the biggest energy crisis. But We have been living with the thought of the future recovery, future development of our country. And in our deep beliefs, I mean, State Agency of Energy Efficiency, Ukrainian recovery should be based on the guiding principle of European climate and energy policy. It's energy efficiency first. This is provided by our law, by our new law, Ukrainian on energy efficiency, and in our point of view, it means that the approach should be systematic and includes as cross-sectoral measures and sectoral measures of energy efficiency. Now Ukraine has moved to European practice of energy efficiency policy and providing cross-sectoral measures of energy efficiency. All of us, I think, know about it. First is, of course, energy management. You know, widespread implementation of ETs is universal measures for all sectors and all levels of using and supplying energy, and it may be most effective in ratio of investments measures to achieve really energy efficiency. It can already reduce energy consumption by 4 or 15% without large-scale financial investment. Next steps, it's implementation on energy efficiency monitoring system, development of energy audits, energy service, and etc. All of them can be seen as efficient cross-sectoral measures for energy efficiency. But as I said, Ukrainian recovery across all economic sectors and levels of governance should include and special sectoral measures. In this regard, we should pay attention to transformation of energy sector. And it means not only replacement of destroyed generation facilities using renewables, but for example, creation of energy clusters. You know, Ukraine is an agrarian country and can replace a significant amount of fossil fuels through the development of bioenergy. It is advisable to develop bioenergy and synergy with other types of renewables or agriculture or energy efficiency production, and taking into account the potential of the region, we will achieve maximum multiplication effect. Such a state approach will allow to use the existing potential of the state and attract investment for the regional development. And all of this following, of course, following the course of decarbonization and European integration. Another direction of clustering in this field would be based on hydrogen technologies and hydrogen values. If we talk about carbonization in the industry, special mention should be made of development of industrial parks and eco-industrial parks. In this issue, Ministry of Economy, with our participation of our agency, has developed a draft strategy for development of industrial parks in Ukraine until 2030, and to promote sustainable development and decarbonization of national economy. First of all, it aimed to create synergies between the development of industry, science, and city and communities. For example, joint local transport system, combined power supply, providing around-the-clock water supply, and wastewater treatment with emphasis on wastewater reuse. Also, it could include provision of integrated energy supply system, electricity, gas, heat, and etc. In the process of rebuilding, of course, we should pay attention for development of in-the buildings. Now, in January 2020, the government approved the concept of the implementation of the state policy in this field, and also approved the national plan for increasing the number of such buildings. And it has considerable potential for creation new climate natural generation of public buildings. And of course, it's very important for rising energy independence of municipalities. Okay, and finally, what should I say? Maybe I want to reemphasize that one point. Ukrainians' recovery is, on the one hand, is a really challenge for all of us, for all of Ukrainians. But on the other hand, it is a huge opportunity, and we cannot afford to miss it. So thank you for your attention. Excuse me, my being shorter, but we had some problem with connection. So thank you once again, and let's talk.
Maria, thanks a lot for your support. Thanks a lot for support our municipalities. I think we do one important thing. We are moving together and we are as one team. Thanks a lot, and keep in touch with your agency. And I see you are tired to borrow. I don't know. I propose to change something. I'm the worst singer in this world. I have never sing a song on publicity, but I think you support me. Who is Ukrainian here? Who is the best singer? Who is the best singer here? You. Okay, for our friends, international friends, the best song in Ukraine and famous song from the worst singer of Ukraine, but we sing song together. Ой, у лузі на калина хилилася, що ша славна Україна журилася. А ми тут червону калину жнемо, а ми нашу славну Україну гей-гей розвеселимо. Okay, it doesn't matter how we sing this song, but it was nice. We are as one team. Okay, why I tried to change something, because we will be speak about serious things right now, but maybe we change, we invite some scientists to panelization and UNDP representative, and we will be talking about more about climate resilience. But maybe do you have some questions to municipalities? Because I have too many questions to them. But maybe do you have some question to representative of municipalities? Okay.
Yes, hey, my name is Diana. I'm from the Ukrainian Climate Network, and I want to thank you that you are continuing the work you have started already. And my question was related to the civil society involvement in the work you're doing. So Irina already mentioned the support of the Eco Club, and I would ask the other cities also, maybe you can emphasize
Cooperate, we work sometimes together with this guys and girls from this NGO, and our SICAP,
Yes.
yeah, we are writing this SICAP together.
And as I know, when Lviv SICAP was developed, such as Plato Association of Energy Efficiency Cities Ukraine and other NGOs took a part in discussion and in development. It's important. Okay, maybe next question to municipalities, because we will invite scientists and UNDP, and we will have other, how to say, other place. Right now, municipality will ask some question. Okay? No? Okay, please change. And I would like to invite Svetlana Krakovska. For me, it's how to say, the main teacher on climate risk and vulnerability analysis assessment in Ukraine. It's a famous Ukrainian scientist, and you have unique opportunity to ask any question and to receive professional answer. Svetlana, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much for this introduction. Actually, I'm really proud to be here with you, because actually, yeah, I'm scientist, but you are heroes because you make your cities functioning during this very difficult situation. So in fact, I really, I just don't have words how to say my thankfulness for your functioning during this very tough time. My front is science, and I was on this front during this time as well. Just to say that we had during COP this event with this actually title, Accelerating Science-Based Green Transition in Ukraine as a model for post-conflict and post-disaster recovery. We already made this event right here in this pavilion, and I just encourage you to see actually a recording, which is on the website of the ministry. And yeah, I can introduce myself, but you can read from slides that I work for Ukrainian Hydrometeorological Institute. Actually, there I'm a head of Laboratory of Applied Climatology. So it means we apply science, climatology to different sectors. And I will speak on this more. Next, please. Okay. So I work actually for IPCC. IPCC is a UN body, which is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And this is the most recognized scientific body, which provides us with science, with knowledge, and we based all our action here on the achievements actually of IPCC here. And actually this COP, which is United Nations Framework for Climate Change Convention, actually was established after IPCC actually produced first report where to say that we change this climate. And this is the recent report, and this is the recent actually message from IPCC that it is indisputable now that human activities are causing climate change. So if somebody will say you it is not our fault, it is already actually confirmed with science. And then we are going to other message that this climate change actually making extreme climate events, including heat waves, heavy rainfall and droughts, more frequent and severe. And we know it in Ukraine very well, especially in last years. Next, please. And here it's very, visually very good to see how it is globally actually proceed from very past. So this pre-industrial, so it's about some events that was just once per 50 years or once per 10 years. And now with this present global warming of 1 degree, we have it 5 times more frequent. So it means once per 10 years. So, and at the same time, we have intensity of these heat waves. And here you see, so now they are 1.2 degrees hotter. And what will be if we will be in 1.5, which is actually non-avoidable? So we will be anyway in this 1.5. So we will have much more frequent these heat waves, and much more hotter this climate. And with this, we need to adapt, of course, to these changes. And then we have other different scenarios for our future. And next, please. It's not about heat now, it's about actually heavy precipitation over land. And for Ukraine, it's again, so we have this. So the same, so for what we have now, we have 30% more frequent these heavy rains, and it will proceed with every 10th of degree of warming actually. And the same with agricultural and ecological droughts. So we see the droughts now almost 2 times more frequent, and actually it means that it has much more intensity, these droughts actually. So this is numbers they say to us. Next, please. And with this, I will go to another actually presentation, which was made another scientist from IPCC, Professor Daniela Schmidt, who actually was coordinating her chapter for Europe. And I took her presentation just to present it about adaptation. Next, please. So anyway, we will need to adapt in our cities, in our nature. So we have this nature and the human system are under threat. So, and we know all this from Ukraine as well. So next, please. With this, we need to estimate risk, and to estimate this risk, we need to say about this actually exposure. So it means when you have this disaster, you have exposure of yourself, of your cities to this natural or some hazard. We call it like hazard, and actually, hazard, exposure to this hazard and vulnerability of the system. But in this case, we have a response. We can respond, and if we do right response, we can actually reduce risk. And depending on this response, actually, this risk could be exacerbated or mitigated. So it depends on us now, this force component, let's say. But with the same time, we have, it is possible actually, again, to exacerbate this risk depending on different scales of actually of this disaster, of this hazard. And with this, again, so it could be like a chain. So we start with, so the strong wind, for example, can exacerbate wildfires, and the extreme heat, again, so it has connection to wildfires as well. So it means that we need to actually study every such possibility and estimate risk very carefully. Next, please. Yeah, again, so when we are speaking about risk, we can speak it's on different time scales. It's temporal. So because we have emissions, which actually stay, these emissions in atmosphere, they could stay for 100 years and actually impact our life for many years. So it means even if we make some changes in our behavior now, we will not see very quickly these results, and we need to be prepared for this. And again, so it's just to show you this, and again, so it's emissions in one place of the Earth, but you will have actually impact in others. So everything is connected in this world. Okay, next, please. And just to say how we do it, we do, I mean, as scientists, we produced models, and with these models, we put the main physical processes in these models, and then we see response in these models to different scenarios, how we say. So these scenarios is about composition of the atmosphere, so it's concentration of greenhouse gases. And here, actually, I can just briefly say that, yeah, here we have my colleague and friend, actually, who is coordinating also of Atlas in IPCC report as well. So we produced this interactive Atlas. It's innovative tool in IPCC, actually, with which we can produce different visuals and estimate different scenarios and make it much more clear for people. But when we go to cities, we need it just slide that we need much better actually resolution for these models, and we have these models, and we can implement them for cities as well. So next, please. And here actually it's again about IPCC. So we produce, it's very dense information, and it will be released very soon, because now it says that it's fact sheet, it's a matter of copyright and copy edit actually, but we produce special sectoral fact sheets. So one of these is for cities, buildings, and transport. So it's about information which related to cities and transport and buildings. So what you can use from us as scientists about this. Okay, next, please. And just to give you some hint how we are in Ukraine and where we are globally, yeah, because well, we have global strides somewhere, but actually this is for different countries, and you see that Ukraine in the second actually 10th, yes, or 15 country with a rate of changing, with a rate of warming actually in the world. And the most of these countries, they are from north or closer to polar region, where this actually warming is much more pronounced than global warming, in fact. So next, please. And here actually estimation for Ukraine. So what we made for these scenarios and its change in annual air temperature, put here different scenarios and different time frames actually. And it's you can see difference between scenarios. And this scenario is much more actually pronounced till the end of the century. But in fact, when we are speaking about city development, we are speaking not about next year, even not about next decade. We are speaking about our children and grandchildren. So just we need to take into account this. But in fact, even to the middle of the century, you see the big difference between these scenarios. These scenarios means actually how much emissions will go to the air, to the atmosphere, and how much this atmosphere will be warmed. So this is numbers, they show this actually in watts per square meter, in fact, at the end of the century. But the most remarkable, I guess, for Ukraine, it's this precipitation in summer. So this is precipitation in July, actually, and this again, you see where actually we have now the most our fighting. We have actually projections about much more drier summers. And I will not say too much about this, but it could be one of reason of this war as well, water. Next, please. Yeah, and about Ukraine, we are speaking about, we used to have snow, but in last years, we don't have this snow, in fact. But at the same time, I can say, and I believe you know that, look, here it's when it is that we have less snow in the beginning of season and less snow at the end of the season. But at the same time, we have actually in Ukraine maximum yearly snow height. And I believe you remember 2013 year, 23rd of March, when we had this heavy snowfall in many cities actually, and how it was hard with these snowfalls. So with less snow annually, we could have very heavy snowfalls. Next, please. Yeah, and here it's again, it's this innovative tool, Interactive Atlas. I just invite you to go to the webpage of IPCC and find this, and there you can find this information for, and you can test different actually, we call it them climatic impact drivers. So this is climatic actually indices which can be used when you plan your development of the city. Next, please. Yeah, and this is a go to this project we are now implementing in Ukraine, which is called Sapana 3. It's a bit hidden, but in fact, it's about enhancing Ukrainian climate resilience through development of 3 pilot regional climate adaptation strategies. For this project, we selected 3 oblasts, which is Ivano-Frankivska, Lvivska, and Mykolaiivska. It was done before the full-scale war. Next, please. Actually, yeah, just to say that it's implemented by EnviroPlan, which is leader, and by EGIS, which is again another company, which is international company, works in Kiev now, under financial support from the European Union. Next, please. With this project actually has different components, and I involved in component 3, which is about development regional climate adaptation strategies for these 3 oblasts. But there are different actually components there. One of them is really very important now. It's about regional waste management plans, again in 3 oblasts, and I believe you can find more information on this. I just want to say that from this starting of the full-scale war, we were afraid that people will forget about climate change, and it was really the case when people it was not priority, of course, at the beginning. But then people just recognize that, yeah, we are winning, and yeah, after all, climate change will not stop. So we need to continue this work. So we continue this work, and first oblast we took was and is Mykolaiivska Oblast, because I insisted so much. Mykolaiivska Oblast now destroyed the most of these 3 oblasts, and they will need to recover, and they need to recover on green pathway. So that's why we are taking Mykolaiivska Oblast and continue this work. Next, please. Okay, just maybe it is not, okay, not all visible, but just to say what we are doing in this project. So there's different steps, what we are doing, and now we are assessing this vulnerability, and then we will come to some other steps. And we actually consider different this climatic impact drivers actually. Next, please. Oh, is it not working? No. Unfortunately, yeah. Okay. So when it converted to this PDF file, it doesn't work. But actually, we already have results for Mykolaiivska Oblast with the results for this vulnerability assessment for temperature and precipitation. So we continue this work. With this, I just want maybe to say thank you that you were listening so carefully. And yeah, unfortunately, it is not with beautiful pictures, but I want to say that my presentation, my scientific presentation, I finish with this thanks to our army, thanks to our volunteers and everybody in Ukraine and internationally who actually make our work possible and make our life possible actually. So thank you so much, and Slava Ukraini.
Thanks a lot. And I have two questions. Okay, what's the main climate hazards for Ukrainian municipalities? Are mostly, how to say, influence on the critical infrastructure right now and will be in 10 years. And what's the main climate risk will be more actual for municipality in 10 years?
Well, actually, to answer this question, I need to know which municipality, because Ukraine is a big country in different climate zones with different.
Lviv.
Okay, Lviv. Lviv, it's west part of Ukraine. And west part of Ukraine, actually, we have projections of more precipitation, actually, and means more, yeah, you will need more this sewage, yeah.
Savages,
yeah,
канализации.
yeah, and this one side, let's say, another side, of course, heat waves. It will be the same for all Ukraine. So during summer season as well, and well, I would say that west part of Ukraine will be not much impacted in this climate change. So it will be much more comfortable in many cases. But if we are speaking about city, so we need to speak about development of city, not make it black again. So make it green zone, blue zone, white zone. So different zones just to don't make city warm. And think about reflectivity. And of course, to think about well, air quality again, about transport, public transport, and some other. With this, actually, I want maybe again to invite you to listen to other IPCC author, which was on the panel right here. She spoke on cities and adaptation of cities and different ways of adaptation. So actually, she's much more experienced than me on this. And she invited, well, I invite her and she invited me actually to speak on cities in Ukraine and these possible ways of rebuilding and recovery. So we will definitely will do it for different cities. Kyiv is the first because big city, and IPCC decide about 100 cities and Kyiv among those 100. But we can do on as role model and then we can implement it in other cities.
Yeah. But as you remember, you provided information on Kyiv, how temperature will rise, and Kyiv will lose 10 heating days till 2015. It means that heat generation should change because minus 10 days during heating season.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's applicable for all Ukraine actually.
Yeah.
So I mean, this heating season will be shorter, but you will need cooling season to make it
longer. Yeah.
Yeah. So more energy in summer, but so its transformation should be, but it will be easy to do with solar panels.
Yeah. Okay, Svetlana, thanks a lot. Do you have some question? Okay, maybe sing a song. Okay, let's move again.
Yeah, well, we can sing again.
Yeah. If no question, we will sing a song. We have time, 50 minutes. It's okay. Okay, thanks a lot. And I think the key messages from this separately panel session: scientists should be together with municipalities in development climate action plan, because without scientists, you don't have any real climatic scenario, and you will not have real good prepared project in the future.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You will have more money losses in the future. Okay, and the main partner of this panel session, the main partner of many projects in Ukraine, and the good friends of Covenant of Mayors, it's Anna Zhovtenko, UNDP project. And I know that just now you and your team work so tight in the field of energy management, in the field of capacity building, and you support Ukrainian municipalities. But I think you present your team and you more well. And if you will have no question, you will sing a song.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I want to express my huge respect to the authorities from the cities who are in such complicated times still develop strategies and implement action plans for their communities. Jeff funded UNDP project on energy efficiency in public buildings, stays ready to assist municipalities in recovery and development of energy management system to decrease consumption of resources. Okay, maybe I'll try this one. Yes. Hello. Yes. Okay. Today I want to focus on 2 ways to get additional funding to implement energy efficient projects in the cities, and first of which is very obvious, but still unfortunately under implemented. This is saving. I want to say that the studies show that only maintaining the energy management system gives from 5 till 10% of energy consumption decrease. And to help municipalities to achieve this, this year our project installed specific energy management information system in 2 regions of Ukraine, in Rivne and Kirovograd oblasts, and 6,500 public buildings were connected to the system. And this activity was accomplished with great capacity building activities. We trained more than 1,600 energy managers. And the other way is to attract additional funding is to cooperate with donors and apply to grants, loans, attract investment. And in this sphere, to assist in achieving this task, our project supports its network of partner cities of about 20 cities of Ukraine. And we help to conduct energy audits, feasibility studies, as well as we provide additionally technical consultation and other support to develop documents to apply for loan or grants, as well as to prepare documents for ESCO tenders. And so far, from the beginning of the project in 2016, we facilitated, project facilitated to reduce CO2 emissions for 4,000 tons of CO2 emissions in 53 ESCO projects. We facilitated $2.5 million direct investment and $49 million indirect investments into energy efficient projects. And all of these helped to save more than 28,000 megawatt hour of energy. So also on the request of some of our partners, we help to develop energy recovery plans and priority investment plans. Our project strongly recommends to include ESCO modality into municipal energy plans. And if needed, we can help with this. In the nearest future, UNDP will sign a number of memorandums of understanding with different cities to assist with recovery planning, as well as with attracting of private investment via ESCO model, but not only classic ESCO model, but also we will help piloting ESCO model in city lighting, in water and heat supply, and alternative energy. So to conclude, there is 3 features or 3 pillars that I want to highlight for communities to have fruitful cooperation with partners, with technical assistant projects and donors. First of all, I want to admit the clear vision of the desired future. This should be stated in some long-term strategic documents. The second one is focus on result, and I see it in consistency in planning and cooperation. And the third one, but I think that the most important, is constant capacity building activities for personnel of municipalities, for teams, to get fruitful cooperation. Thank you very much for attention, and I wish strength to all our communities and fruitful cooperation in future. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Anna. Together we as a team, together we are stronger, yeah?
Yep.
And maybe somebody has some question? Okay. And maybe I would like to finish our, how to say, discussion or presentation, but we are stay here and ready to other discussion. But you see just now 2 pictures which were done this year. We Covenant of Mayors has such initiative as Sustainable Energy Days, Sustainable Energy Week every year. And in the beginning of September, we thought, do municipalities need to organize some public event related to European Sustainable Energy Week? Because we have war and municipalities have real other headaches and they need other supports right now. But in the night, I received such message from a small local community from Dnipropetrovsk regional, which is under attack every day, and rocket attack every day, that we need these days because we need to speak with children, we need to invite children, we need to listen to children, what they need. And this small community, it's Pokrovska community from Dnipropetrovsk regional, started such initiative. It's umbrella for the planet. Under rocket attack, children did more green as a community, and it was like flash mob in Ukraine. And I thought, we win this war because our children more stronger, more believe in our army, more believe in our future, maybe as we. That's why what we do now we do everything for our children, and that's why we win this war. Thanks a lot. And if you have any question, do you want to sing a song? Okay.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing with us. My name is Lee. I'm a journalist from Arts newspaper in Israel. And I just was looking for examples, if you can give us, of your efforts to try and be greener during the war. Like maybe you can tell us about buildings that were bombed and you're trying to, or you will try to build it again in a greener way, or electricity grid that was destroyed and now you try to move to renewables. And maybe you can share, like, from your personal experience, how do you find the time or the mental power to be busy also in the climate crisis when you deal with such a war? Thank you so much.
Okay. Who?
Hello. Maybe I will send. So first of all, I was telling a little bit about the heating pumps which we are now installing in our city. From the beginning of war, we installed one heating pump in our city for approximately 20 residential buildings, and now we are installing 4 more such heating pumps, and I think for that is a future, because it makes us more autonomous and more sustainable. Also, after the beginning of war, I can say something about that biogas project which is in our city. So approximately in June, on our that landfill which is now recultivating, we also started biogas station on 1 megawatt of power, and now it's like good project in case of because it co-generates energy, and it uses the biogas from our landfill, which is now inactive and which is recultivating by our city. We have a lot of different cases in our city from the beginning of war. For example, trams. We have ongoing project, the European Investment Bank, and we, from the beginning of war, we get 2 5-section trams on 250 passengers, and till the end of year, we hope that we will get 3 more trams, and it will be like a good impulse for the next development of public transport in our city. Thank you.
Just to share from your personal perspective, how do you manage like to run the city and deal with the war, and also to try to deal with climate crisis?
So, tell you the truth, a lot of processes which we need to do immediately during the war, they are not in every case they are composing all these goals which we are discussing today, but some of them are really on time, and that war is the impulse, war is in some cases is motivation for us to do it more quickly, because before that we never thought that we need to be autonomous, and we didn't thought that we need to make both sources of energy which not, for example, we are depending on Russia with gas. Now after that airstrikes, we're depending on electricity, but if we will develop renewables, if we will install such things like sun panels, so we will be more sustainable, and that's the case of safety in our and normal life in our cities.
I see you have a other.
Yeah, maybe a small. You ask about where we can find mental or something else, health, for example. In Ukraine, we say, if our army can fight with second army in the world, before this war it was second army in the world, there is no chance for us for local level to go down hands and stop and so on. We need to work, we need to deal with all problems. We, as same as all countries in the world, have a problem in climate and so on. So for us, it's work. We need to do this. It doesn't matter war or not war. And for example, you ask about examples what we do in this situation to improve our energy stability or something else. We change heat generation station. Today, 30% of our city heat in city centralized system. We produce from renewable energy. It's alternative energy. It's wood chips. We change this plants and set part of the city heated from the wood chips. We have enough these wood chips in Rivne. We finished this 18% before and 12 during this war, because it was a set. Set boiler station. We changed the set boiler station in our heating system. In about 30% of heat centralized heat system from the wood chips. And now we start a project change gas, change boiler in our clinic from big central clinic from gas to heat pump. So it could be started, I think, during this month.
And I would like to add that Covenant of Mayors initiative supports right now municipalities, because, for example, we are cooperate with Irpin, Bucha, and other destroyed communities, and we start from zero to plan new, greener, more efficiency and energy security cities. We start from climate risk and vulnerability assessment. We start from analysis of local renewables or biomass resources or other. We start to think more about energy security, affordable energy. And again, just now we move into new communities, to new Ukrainian, which will be more greener, more sustainable, and more climate resilience. I think if we speak maybe 2 years ago, I said that climate change and energy securities are not in the priority topic of mayors. But now the situation is changed, and energy security, climate change, more or less famous topic among mayors. And that's why we need to think about investments, but investments will be more greener right now. For example, European Investment Bank just now does not finance gas projects. It means that municipalities should change no gas projects for future. And I think more or less the situation will be good, because Ukraine sends to all European and other United States will be the winner, and we change everything in our country. Not everything, but gas, gas. Any question? Okay. We have a time.
Yeah. What you want me to add and on what? Well, actually, it's pretty clear how we and which direction we need to change. It was pretty clear many years, but now it's clear for many people, let's say. So it's for most people, I would say. I remember in 2018, we had first meeting in our Ukrainian parliament devoted to climate change. And at that moment, one of person, actually Alexei Ryabchin, who was here previous week, he provided statistics that now in 2018, we have twice more people who concerned about climate change. And now we have 15%. And I was down, you know, if you have 15% of person who wants to change something, we will not change. But then another positive message, we have twice more per 1 year. So within the next 2 years, we had more than half. And we start to change actually in Ukraine. And now with this full-scale war, we have much more need to change, to accelerate actually this transformation, to be true independent. So I can just, you know, I really pleased actually to hear it's from majors who will develop our city where we will be living, where will be living my children and grandchildren. Because before I was like, you know, voice in the desert. But now I hear these voices around the scope. Fossil fuels is bad. We need to phase out fossil fuels. And I just, wow, is it true? And I really have very big hope that we will do it. We can do it.
Okay, 7 minutes to the next panel session. Just now break, or we could stay together if you want. 7 minutes.